So Aunt Susan and your Facebook groups are all telling you to go to the same Disney restaurants that everyone goes to. But we've got 8 Disney restaurants that are some of the best we think you've never heard of today on DFB Guide. Let's get started. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and today we're covering some lesser-known Disney Parks territory with the best Disney restaurants you've never heard of. So these are restaurants that you might have heard the names of, and if you watch DFB Guide, you've definitely heard about some of them, but they really fly under the radar, and these are things you may not come across unless you've really done your research. Now, they're definitely not as popular as all the restaurants we've all heard of, like Aunt Susan's telling you to go to Be Our Guest at the Magic Kingdom, Ohana at Polynesian, California Grill on top of the Contemporary Resort, Plaza Inn at Disneyland, blah, blah, blah. And those are all fine and good, and yes, you should go to them. But the restaurants we're sharing with you today are the ones you may not have heard of, and even if you have, you probably haven't had a meal there. So let's dive right into the Jungle Navigation Company Limited Skipper Canteen. I know, long name for a restaurant, right? But this is over at Magic Kingdom. And it's an Adventureland, and while it's right on the beaten path, you may still not have noticed it unless you were specifically looking for it. So it's on your right pretty soon after you enter the land, right next to Sunshine Tree Terrace, where you'll get your citrus swirl. So Skipper Canteen, as it's more commonly called, because nobody wants to say Jungle Navigation Company Limited Skipper Canteen, is a slice of history inside, and we love it, and it's loads of little nods to Disney World's history, particularly the Jungle Cruise attraction, which is the inspiration for the restaurant's decor and its menu. Now, the food here is pretty good, and there are lots of options that pull from international cuisine, which is something you don't often find in the Magic Kingdom. So, if you're up for trying different flavors, Skipper Canteen might be a great spot for you. Now, we enjoy the SEA Shoo Mai, which is a dumpling with mung beans and pork and a delicious soy sauce. The Mojo Braised pork is delicious, and we could eat a big old plate of that on its own. But of the entrees, our favorite is probably the Tastes Like Chicken, because it is, and this is a really good fried chicken with a delicious sweet and spicy sauce, so very tasty. And yes, it is chicken, but when you're in the Jungle Navigation Company, a limited Skipper Canteen, be sure to look for the SEA room, which of course stands for Society of Explorers and Adventurers. Now, Disney's got a long history of hidden nods to the SEA, and Skipper Canteen is one of the epicenters for that. There's lots of hidden secrets in here about the SEA. Now, definitely go check out the bookshelves, where you're going to see a lot of tongue-in-cheek titles on the books there. But there is one that is slightly being taken out of the bookshelf, and of course, that's the one that you have to pull to open the SEA room door. Now, you're not going to be able to do that yourself. It's already pulled out, but that's one to definitely check out. That's one of those hidden secrets in Magic Kingdom that a lot of people don't know about. Now on to the Grand Floridian Café. I can't say enough good about this place, you guys. So we've been talking about the GFC a little more these days, and you might have heard it here at DFB, but we think a lot of folks haven't even been to the Grand Floridian Café. Usually when you go to the Grand Floridian, you're going to Victoria and Albert's and Citrico's and 1900 Park Fair for sure, right? So while the GFC is kind of hidden away, it's not really in the public consciousness there, it's really one of the best restaurants in that resort. So we enjoy breakfast, brunch, and dinner here, and that buttermilk fried chicken and waffle are a huge hit. Note that they've updated the waffle now, so it's sort of a savory waffle along with your fried chicken. And something I love about this fried chicken is that it's cornflakes coated. It's a dark golden brown. It's so good, and the sriracha honey drizzle that comes with it is super, super yummy, so don't forgo that. But you can't go wrong here. We've enjoyed the Florida pancakes, now available as one of the few pancake options, with mandarin oranges, cranberries, and citrus pecan syrup. And the lobster thermidor burger is insane, super indulgent, but fun to eat. And if you're dining during breakfast or lunch service, you can get the Benedict flight, which is 3 different versions of Eggs Benedict. So the setting of the Grand Floridian Café is bright and sunny, maybe a little old-fashioned, but very comfortable. It's a great place to eat, and it's a convenient monorail ride away from the Magic Kingdom, so doable even if you're not staying at the Grand Floridian. And note that this is one of those restaurants that's practically empty during the day. Nobody's there because everyone's in the parks, so you've got to take advantage of that. Next, we want to talk about Baseline Taphouse at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So it's no secret that each of the parks at Walt Disney World has some hidden gems, and Hollywood Studios' Baseline Taphouse is one of those. So it's located on the Grand Avenue. It's basically a bar, but it offers some unique brews, creative cocktails, and tasty eats. Now, here's a little memory lane situation for you guys. This is, of course, the space that used to be Writer's Stop, if you guys remember Writer's Stop. And if you look at the letters on the bookshelves, you can actually see the writer's stop sign has been kind of broken up into those letters and put on the bookshelf. So I love that little nod back to memory lane. So anyway, typically here you're going to find craft brews, creative cocktails, tasty eats. They've got a giant Bavarian pretzel with beer cheese fondue, which anytime I can get beer cheese fondue, you guys know I'm down for that. And a great charcuterie board here as well with California cheeses. But we do sometimes find heartier options like the coffee rubbed ribeye steak puff and olive salad, which could easily be a meal. Now, Baseline has indoor and outdoor seating, but not a whole lot of indoor. So note that you're most likely going to be outdoors with this one. And in the Orlando heat and weather, that can be problematic. But it is a good place to hang out and watch the world go by, literally. And when Galaxy's Edge opens, Baseline will be right around the corner from one of the new land's entrances. So this will make it an appealing spot to escape from the First Order or the crowds. Speaking of Hollywood Studios, we're going to head over to the Brown Derby Lounge. Now, this one might surprise some of you. The Hollywood Brown Derby is a signature restaurant in Hollywood Studios, and you almost always need an advanced dining reservation to score a table there. But if you want to enjoy some of the classic Brown Derby eats, including the famous stuff, without the ADR, the Brown Derby Lounge lets you do just that. So this lounge has limited seating, but there are plenty of tables outside, meaning you can people watch while you enjoy a bowl of that famous Brown Derby Cobb salad. We also love the andouille crusted shrimp here, and if it's on the menu, you have to get those. But you can also sip on the margarita and martini flights out here. These are a delicious, fun, and colorful option if you're looking to relax and unwind a little bit in the middle of the madness that is a Disney theme park. Now remember, there is no advanced dining reservation needed to go to the Brown Derby Lounge. All right, we're going to head over to Disney Springs to Wine Bar George. Now, this is a relatively new addition to Walt Disney World, but has already taken the local community by storm. Everybody loves it. It should totally be on your radar. Even if you're not a wine connoisseur, this is the place for you. They make it very, very easy for everybody to come in. They explain everything. If you don't care about wine at all, no big deal. They have great food. They have great other options. But if you do care about wine, this is going to be basically a mecca for you. There's 130 different wines selected by Wine Bar George's master sommelier, George Miliotes, who of course opened the California Grill over in the Contemporary. And the food menu is also really, really good. So we love the crispy mac and cheese bites. Those are so great. And also pretty unpretentious for a place like this. I'm impressed that they've got unpretentious, delicious food at a wine bar of this caliber and this quality. I love that. So anyway, the skirt steak's also really good. The artisanal cheese board is a perfect partner for the wines here. But don't forget, if you don't want to go sit inside, the basket at Wine Bar George, which is the restaurant's quick service window, will sell sandwiches, small bites, even a picnic basket for 2 or 4 people. So you can go anywhere on property and use that. So if you want to add Wine Bar George to your list, and trust me, you do, you don't even have to get an advanced dining reservation. You can just walk right up. But remember that you can get an advanced dining reservation to sit inside, which might be recommended on those weekend nights. All right, next we're going to talk about Nomad Lounge. So this is over in Animal Kingdom. It's one of my personal favorites. Now, this isn't a restaurant per se. It is a lounge, but there's plenty of food on the menu, and it's a great place to relax and recharge. You can get creative cocktails, African beers. Kids are totally welcome. I've seen many, many kids taking naps on the sofas in here. So it's a good place to come and just sort of get out of the heat and relax a little bit, take a little nap. But the food is generally really, really good. And note that the menu does change pretty frequently. So in the past, we've loved the Indian butter chicken wings. The Kobe style brisket poutine is amazing. There's truffle poutine there now, I think. And there are several options there to make the whole family happy. So drinks are also really good. Try the Hightower Rocks or the Leaping Lizard. And note the Hightower Rocks is a nod also to the SEA, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, to Harrison Hightower, who of course is the proprietor of the Tower of Terror over in Tokyo Disney. So if you want to head over to Nomad Lounge, it's in Animal Kingdom's Discovery Island, adjacent to Tiffin's signature restaurant. It's a must-do and a real getaway in that park. All right, now I'm going to talk about Chicken Guy. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much I recommend this restaurant. It is just a hole-in-the-wall counter service spot. But you guys, it's so good. I love it. I go to it all the time. So Chicken Guy is in Disney Springs West Side. It's a great quick service restaurant you may not have heard of, but if you love chicken, actually if you love sauce like I do, then this is a spot you want to check out for sure. So this is a Guy Fieri helmed restaurant. If you guys know celebrity chef Guy Fieri, he's not there. His name's on it though. And it's just a bunch of hand-pounded chicken tenders, come fried or grilled, and we love the fact that you can get them grilled if you'd like something a little less fried on your Disney trip, but the fried are really good too. And sandwiches come with a couple of tenders, so they've even got salads topped with the chicken, so the menu isn't huge, but they're sticking to what they know at Chicken Guy. So the big story here is the 22 sauces on the menu, and you get to choose 2 to accompany your chicken tenders, but you can pay a little extra, 50 cents each, for all those extra sauces that you want to try, and definitely you want to try them. So if you're getting some fries with your chicken, you might want that extra sauce for dunking, and go ahead and pick a couple extra, or you can be like me and be super boring and just get 6 buffalo sauces. And finally, want to talk about Il Mulino. This is one I really think you've never heard of unless you watch every single DFB Guide video. I love this restaurant, but we don't talk about it enough. So Il Mulino New York Trattoria is a fantastic Italian restaurant located at the Swan Hotel in the Epcot Resort area. So it's right there on property. You can walk there from Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and it's way up there on my list of favorite Italian restaurants in Disney World, even though there are like 20 of them. So Il Mulino is the second location of the Il Mulino brand. The first one is in New York's Greenwich Village, and the decor here is definitely a little metropolitan. It's sleek, but it still manages to be really warm and homey too, so don't feel intimidated by the restaurant's pedigree, especially if you've got kiddos. They're very welcome at the restaurant. And dishes here are inspired by the Abruzzi region of Italy. They include the daydream-worthy polpette al forno. These meatballs are so good, and they sound simple, but they're totally awesome. And the spaghetti carbonara here is phenomenal. I am a big spaghetti carbonara fan. I used to eat spaghetti carbonara all the time at Italian restaurants in New York City when I lived there, and this is just as good, if not better. So good. So definitely order that. And note that you can order pasta dishes in the half size here so that you can try a few, or you get a half and someone else can get a half, and you can share. Really good benefit that I don't see at a lot of other restaurants. So in non-pasta options, the Pollo Fra Diavolo, huge hit for me. Chicken and vegetables and a delicious tomato sauce. So if it's there, you definitely want to grab that. So there are a few of our favorite Disney restaurants that, yeah, you've never heard of them. Unless you watch DFB Guide. So these are not the same ones that the moms in your mom's group or the guys at work are going to recommend. These are restaurants that not a lot of people know about, but they definitely should be on your docket. So thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click that like button if you liked this video, and leave us a comment if you've been to some of these restaurants and let us know what you think. This is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.